You know, Van Gogh's paintings feel strong to us, but Van Gogh himself never felt strong while he was alive. He didn't become famous because he painted. And while he was painting, he never believed fame would come. Most of the time, he believed he would become nothing at all. Van Gogh's life wasn't filled with bright moments. There were no crowds, no celebrations, no success stories. Most days, he was alone. And loneliness for him wasn't something poetic. It was something that grew quietly, slowly wearing him down. When we look at his paintings today, the first thing we notice is color. The yellows, the blues, the movement. But those colors didn't come from happiness. They were things he held on to just to keep going. Before he became a painter, Van Gogh tried to build a normal life. He wanted to help people. He became a preacher. He sold books. He tried different paths. But no matter what he did, he never truly belonged anywhere. He felt too much, thought too much, and exhausted himself trying to fit in. Painting wasn't the answer to what do I want to be? It was the answer to how do I survive? Throughout his life, he sold almost no paintings. People didn't understand him. Most of the time, they didn't take him seriously. Some looked at his work and thought only one thing: this man is strange. But no one saw the loneliness behind those brushstrokes. Van Gogh's brushstrokes are not calm. They don't sit still. They don't behave. Because his mind was never calm either. He didn't paint what he saw. He painted what it felt like to be there. A sunflower was never just a flower. It was an effort to reach the light. A night sky was never just darkness and stars. It was the noise inside his head. Thoughts that refused to sleep. That's why the stars move. That's why they swirl. That's why nothing feels still. People often say Van Gogh's colors feel joyful. But yellow was never happiness for him. Yellow was hope. The kind of hope you cling to when everything else feels heavy. And blue was never peace. It was depth, distance, thoughts you can't escape. Van Gogh painted quickly, not because he was careless, but because he was afraid. Afraid that the feeling would disappear. Afraid that the moment would slip away. So he pressed harder. He repeated. He didn't stop. The strongest connection in his life was his brother, Theo. Theo wasn't just family. He was the only person keeping Van Gogh connected to the world. The letters he wrote to Theo weren't really about art. They were about doubt, fear, and the need to be understood. Van Gogh didn't want admiration. He didn't want applause. He just wanted to feel that someone truly saw him. Over time, his mind grew more fragile, and that fragility spilled into his paintings. The lines became harsher, the colors more intense, the emotions impossible to hide. Painting wasn't therapy for him. It wasn't a cure. It was how he stayed alive. In his final years, he created more than ever before, as if he sensed time was running out, as if he wanted to leave something behind. The fields in his paintings stretch endlessly, but they are never peaceful. There is tension in them, wind, a sense that something is about to break, and then everything ended quietly. When Van Gogh died, he believed he had failed. He believed he had been a burden, that his work meant nothing. He never knew his paintings would change the way people see emotion. That color could carry pain. That art could be this human. After his death, the world slowed down and finally began to look. Paintings no one once wanted became priceless. But here's what matters most. Van Gogh didn't paint for the future. He didn't paint for history. He painted to survive the moment he was in. That's why his work still feels powerful. Because it isn't perfect. It isn't cheerful, it's honest. When you stand in front of a Van Gogh painting, you're not just looking at art. You're standing inside a person's inner world, a struggling world, a mind that feels too much, but a spirit that kept going anyway. And maybe that's why Van Gogh still reaches us, because somewhere in those paintings, we recognize ourselves. Not perfection, not happiness, but truth. And sometimes, truth is enough.